how to shift to your ideal reality. It's why you've arrived. It's why you're here. It's what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. My name is David. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. And if you're not, welcome back. Make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell to get those sweet, sweet notifications when new videos come out. And so as a success coach over the last decade, I started out primarily working with only psychological and behavioral action-based means. But over time, as I explored how reality works, what gets people the best results, and in spirituality, my own spirituality, I couldn't help but be drawn to reality creation techniques, identity shifting, and the like. And so as a coach, I feel that I have a duty to bring reality creation methods to you guys, to my clients. And I also really pride myself in the fact that I do try to stay grounded, because sometimes this reality creation stuff, and certainly law of attraction stuff, can be filled with BS. And end of the day, I only care about what works for me and what helps you guys and my clients best. So the first thing that I want to start with is you must start to see reality as shiftable, as malleable, and as energy. Now I want to really ground this for you, because we can go off into woo-woo land and people get lost in all kinds of tangents, okay? I remember in 7th grade looking into a microscope at a solid, a liquid, and a gas. And I remember seeing these vibrating molecules, okay? And I was like so fascinated by it. Now, it would be many years later until I got into reality creation. But if that isn't evidence that all of this is really vibrating energy, I don't know what is. That's direct observational evidence. In this day and age, though science is very powerful, and by no means am I a science denier, the primary paradigm of looking at the world has become scientific. Science has almost become the new religion. As one of my mentors, who I went to a week-long workshop, has said, Joe Dispenza, science is the new language of mysticism. I believe that wholeheartedly. And Joe Dispenza spends a lot of time translating spiritual reality creation principles through scientific language to bridge that gap, even though you don't have to make this stuff work by any means. So part of the paradigm shift here is it's sometimes easy, and I think because of a lot of influence of science, to see things as more permanent and hard, physical, meaning static, they don't change, right? And it can really look like that. Look, if you jump off a cliff, it's highly likely you're gonna die from the impact of that fall, okay? There are physical laws that apply. However, when it comes to reality creation, we have to understand that actually the true nature of this manifested reality is much more like waves of energy than it is one static particle. One of the major quantum physics theories that's out there is something called multiple worlds theory. And what this states is, at any given time, there are many different parallel realities that could occur in possibility. And actually, there are infinite numbers of parallel realities. Now, if you've ever gone down the spiritual rabbit hole in a sense, even beyond trying to create your reality and try to see what is reality, more on a path of realization, what's really happening, versus actualization, which means to make and manifest something to happen, you start to go and find that it's all one, it's all connected, everything is everything, nothing is nothing. And what does that connect to? The concept of the infinite. Even if there's a God, who created that God? Is God outside of reality? Well, certain religions would lead you to think so. But if you logically and contemplatively explore this, at some point it has to end. But it never ends, because it's infinite. So God itself, God himself, herself, itself, what self, is everything. Yes, it's the creator. It's also the thing. Okay, and this ties back to infinite, stay with me, which means there are infinite of these little slices of reality if we're to break them down. Now, all these slices are illusions ultimately. Hinduism has talked about this and uncovered this for a long time. Buddhism, okay, ancient traditions of all kind, even in the West. Mystical forms of Christianity, okay, Judaism. Any true form of religion has a mystical element. A lot of times religion gets twisted into controlling people rather than see the truth of how things are. So why am I saying all this? Because I want to tie together the infinite infinite realities to make it easier to say, oh, I can select these realities versus I have to conjure and create, because that's actually very egoic to see that I, the little I that's David Hamilton or Jennifer Barnes or whoever. Okay, I don't know who Jennifer Barnes is, but she's not in my reality. She's in a parallel reality, apparently. To see that, oh, we're part of that same oneness. All I got to do is select this. Now, it doesn't always feel like that. There's obviously action and stuff that often has to be taken that's part of the game we're playing. But to actually have that vision and tune the mind in is just a selection, not a creation. And some people that I highly respect, that I believe in their teachings and am practicing their teaching and they've gotten results by, say this very thing. They say it's more of a selection than it is this heavy, difficult act of creation that I have to muster up with my will. And so now I want to give you and talk about a very practical way to shift to your ideal reality. Neville Goddard is pretty big in the manifestation and reality creation communities these days. I'm in many of them. I'm often a lurker, watching behind the scenes and learning myself. Neville Goddard used something called the law of assumption, and his cohort around the same time, who I'm a big fan of, Joseph Murphy, used the law of belief. Ultimately the same thing. Law of attraction, law of belief, law of assumption. Okay. Neville had a teacher named Abdullah, and you may or may not know this, who taught him that he must be and live in the end, and that's it. Now, Abdullah was known for being a pretty hardcore teacher, meaning do this, quit asking all these questions, just do what I say and it'll happen. And Neville eventually got on board with that. They often say that Abdullah slammed the door on him, which means they were kind of staying or living together in New York City in the 1940s, 50s, something like that. Neville wanted to go to Barbados, where his family lived, but he had no money and no way to get there. And famously, Abdullah said, "You are in Barbados." And he slammed his room door and left Neville on his own to figure it out. And somehow that clicked for Neville. And so Neville would visualize and imagine, especially when he was going to sleep or waking up, that he was already in Barbados, that he was living in that reality and that was it. Now, this is really, really challenging for a beginner in reality creation to deal with, in reality shifting. So I thought, what's an easier way to help someone do this? Because if you're not practicing this stuff, it can feel so distant and like, that's not really reality. I can't select that reality. I can't create this or shift this, right? So here's how I relate to it. It's a perfect metaphor that one of the most famous Neville Goddard manifestation stories is around a vacation. And by the way, it all happened. He got an opportunity to get on a ship and it was paid for. And then he got bumped to first class because, he wanted to be in first class. All these things happened basically. And so if you think about going on a vacation, what does it feel like when you've booked a vacation for yourself, with your friends or family? And even though it's a month away, you're going on vacation. What does it feel like to know that you're going on vacation for sure, even though you're not there yet? Okay, this is a little hack that I came up with because sometimes it's not always very easy for me to live in the end. So think about that. If you're planning to go to Hawaii or San Diego or New York City or Los Angeles or Denver, Colorado, or wherever it is, or Hong Kong or Sydney, Australia, right? And you've booked a trip, how do you think? How do you act? How do you feel? What do you anticipate? Well, there's that sense of excitement that it's coming, but you can't be overly excited. Like, I can't wait to get there, right? Because then you'll just make yourself miserable, right? That's not a very fun way to live your life when you know you're going on vacation in 30 days. So you get your ideas ready. Maybe you search the internet for stuff to do there, right? A little bit of planning. You think about it. You tell people about it. So maybe in your head, you're like telling people about it, right? And all this together, you have now become the version of yourself that is going on the vacation. So we can do that same thing with whatever we want to shift our reality to. You want to attract the right partner for yourself. Well, to know that it's inevitable, okay, to know that that partner is already in a reality out there and you're just selecting it, that you've already met this person. You operate in a way that I've already met this person. Even though they're not here in this reality quite yet, How would I feel knowing I already met them, or I'm on my way to meeting them, that a friend set me up, or that I'm going to meet them through an online site, or through friends, through social circles, through work, whatever. If it has to do with money that you want to create, attract, or a reality where you are doing much better financially, well, it's inevitable. Let's say that you have a business and it's the kind of business that people are going to invest in. Well, you know that you're building something so strong that people are going to want to invest in it. So you just roll around knowing that those investors are on their way and imagining that, okay, they're not here yet in this reality, but in that reality they are. So how do I operate with that anticipation that it's inevitable to happen? Do you see how that relates to the vacation example? So really observe and notice yourself when there's something that you know in your life that you know for sure already, that you know and believe in your heart that you're going to happen. I'd love to hear what you think. Drop a comment below if that makes sense, how you see reality shifting. If you see this energy perspective, just tell me your thoughts below. I want to hear from you. So listen, thanks so much for being here. Your time is valuable. It's really important and means a lot to me that you're here watching this. I really hope it helps you. I want to hear from you again in the comments below. And make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications to hear about new videos when they come out. And I've got more stuff for you here. It's good stuff, and we'll see you next time.